Spoiler time, people. That's right, we're going to be doing spoilers on Doctor Strange. I'm going to be talking to you like you've seen the movie, so if you have not seen the movie, don't watch this video. Unless you just want to watch this video, which is cool, you can watch this video if you like, even if you haven't seen it, but don't get angry at me for spoiling the film for you, because I'm giving you a warning if you want to watch this movie. Doctor Strange. Totally psychedelic, awesome visuals. It seriously looks like you've just dropped acid, okay? I've never dropped acid, but I'm assuming this is what it'd look like if I did, and it looks pretty cool. So I do not endorse drugs of any kind, so don't go and drop acid. This movie was awesome. The special effects were amazing. When he first sees the other dimensions, how it works, how magic works, it's a total mind trip. Perfect visuals. It's almost like going out through a drugged up MC Escher sketch and there's parts of it that reminded me a lot of Ant-Man when he was going through the microverse in that, but it was way more psychedelic, and they're showing the different dimensions and the things happening to him. It's just awesome. I really liked the character of Doctor Strange, how he was such a dick, like seriously, and he thought he knew everything, and then the car accident when his hands get crippled, it was just devastating, seeing him all like up all these ones, and he's got all the pins in his hands. You can just see how devastated he is, because, and this is where I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was such a good choice as Doctor Strange. One, he just looks so much like the dude, it's crazy, but he can really, as an actor, the emotion in him, like he didn't even need to say anything. You can just see when he looks at his hands that that car accident stole his identity, because his entire identity was that he is this world famous, brilliant surgeon. That's where all of his arrogance comes from, his swagger, in a very selfish way as well. You don't get the sense that he does it because he really cares about the lives that he's saving. He cares about himself. He wants to be in the limelight. He wants people to praise him for the amazing Doctor Strange. And that's what he's in it for. He's in it for the glory. When he sees his hands and the pins in them and the stitches and how bad they are, he's a nobody now. Then you see him spend his entire fortune going through radical surgery to try and fix it, and bringing him down so far after he was up so high. And after Western medicine, after modern medicine fails him, he seeks something a little bit more mystical, a little bit more out of his comfort zone. Yet he still thinks he's looking for a miracle cure with modern science. So when he goes there, and because he is he's the way his brain works, the way his intelligence works, he can't really look beyond the physical at this point. So when he's finally introduced to the Ancient One, he doesn't believe her. He doesn't want to believe her. He doesn't want to open his eyes to the possibility that this greater power could be there, because he's, in his own mind, been the pinnacle of intelligence, the pinnacle of science and of healing. To think that there's something else out there that he does not know and literally knows nothing of, he can't handle that. And then you get this amazing scene, obviously, where he goes through and he sees the other dimensions, and it's so cool. So yeah, great film, great movie, amazing effects. The acting, perfectly done. My disappointments in the acting was Mads Mikkelsen as the villain. I can't even remember his name. That's how much of a throwaway villain he was. What was his name? He was a villain. He's another throwaway villain. No one's going to remember him after this movie anyway. So, which is disappointing, because Mads Mikkelsen he's an amazing actor, and he plays an amazing villain, and yet they wasted him. So that's Marvel's biggest weakness, is their villains. And Dormammu, who was meant to be the big bad later on, and I'll talk about him a little bit. He was all right. He wasn't in it for very long. I never really felt much dread from him. Like, it was like, yeah, whatever. Dormammu, you got a weird Ripley face. Meh. Those are the villains. Another Marvel weakness. They do that a little bit. But what are you going to do? Overall, they're great movies, and they really invest in their heroes. So I think they probably spend a bit too much time doing that, but I don't want them to take away from that either. I just want them to spend a bit more time and effort on their villains, to make them more villainous, to make them someone that we can be a bit scared of. Something else I thought that they could have done a little bit better in this film was to explain to us a little bit more about the rules of magic in this universe that they're setting up. I've seen this movie twice now, and the first time round I actually completely missed some of it, not even realizing I misunderstood some of it, whereas the second time round I got it. Now, what I mean by that is, we've seen the big special effects in the trailers where they can move the buildings around, they're doing these ones, the surroundings are interacting with them, and it felt like Inception. It felt like a lot of the movie Inception. I just figured that this was magic that a very powerful magician or sorcerer or whatever they want to call them could do. However, the second time round when I saw this film, a lot more of it made sense. It's not something that any other sorcerer can do. It's only the ones that have tapped into this dark dimension where Dormammu lives. I didn't realize that. It was only the ones that have tapped into this dimension that can do all these ones, and all of a sudden the buildings are like, doing their thing and going cray-cray. And so first time around, I just figured it was really powerful magicians, because at the start of the film, the Ancient One does it. Okay, and you see Mads Mikkelsen's character. Seriously, what the hell was that dude's name? Anyway, you can see Mads Mikkelsen's character, and he's like, calls her a hypocrite. And then later on, when Mads Mikkelsen and the guys figure out how to read the sheet that they stole, that Doctor Strange figured out how to read the second he looked at it, but they didn't for some reason, whatever, weird time passage thing. When they figure out how to do it, and all of a sudden he's doing the wax on, wax off thing, and the buildings are moving and going crazy. Yeah, so they could have done that better. They could have explained the rules of the magic a little better, and maybe they didn't because they didn't want to give away that the Ancient One really is tapped into this dark dimension. You can see her in that final battle where she's got the little Dormammu line things in her forehead, just like Mads Mikkelsen. Seriously, what is his name? I've heard quite a few people question, why can Stephen Strange change time back and forth, and yet Mads Mikkelsen's character and the others can get out of that, whereas then when he uses it on Dormammu later, who is meant to basically be like an interdimensional god or demon, like an all-powerful presence, why can he not break out of it? This is the scenes that happen at the very end. You see Doctor Strange, he's using the Eye of Agamotto, the Infinity Stone with the Time Gem, and he's using it to turn back time. Mads Mikkelsen's character and his little disciples, they all get out of it by doing that, that little shaky thing, and then they're back in the normal time. They're no longer, doing these ones. They're back with it all. Then he goes off and he uses that to loop time to fight Dormammu, to trap Dormammu in that loop so he can't get out. Some of the things that I heard is, why doesn't Dormammu just do the thing and get out of there as well? Here's my understanding of it. Mads Mikkelsen's character, the other villains on Earth, they are able to get out of it because Doctor Strange is using the Time Gem on Earth where time already exists. Okay, stay with me. Dormammu lives outside of time. That is why Mads Mikkelsen's character is trying to bring him to Earth. His whole idea is to stop anyone from ever having to die, because there will be no time when Dormammu comes, therefore everyone will live forever. But if everyone lives forever, they won't age, there's no time, you're living in a timeless universe. So when Doctor Strange goes to Dormammu's dark universe and takes the Infinity Stone, the Eye of Agamotto, I know we're really getting deep into nerd territory here, people, but stay with me. When he takes that Eye of Agamotto to Dormammu's dark universe, and then he does his little super cool green wristwatch thing, and he continually turns back time. He's actually brought time to a timeless universe and trapped Dormammu in that little pocket of time. If it doesn't make sense, just comment, tell me that I'm an idiot and you don't get it or whatever, or that I am an idiot anyway and you do get it but I'm still an idiot, whatever. But that's how it is. He's actually taking time to a timeless universe and then trapping Dormammu in that endless loop of time. And it's only in that universe that it would have worked. However, I believe if Dormammu was on Earth, or if in the future any other characters are on Earth and he tries to use that little time thingy on him, you could see how easily Mads Mikkelsen and the others got out of that loop, that reversal of time. I'm very sure that other big bads would be able to do it as well. That's my long-winded, overly complicated explanation of why he could do it to someone but not to someone else. I hope you get it. Please. Let's talk about some of the jokes that worked in this film and some that really, really bombed bad. Like so bad it just fell flat. Marvel is a bit jokier than, say, the DC Cinematic Universe. There are the light and fluffy films that they have with some cool scenes. They do take things seriously, but they have those jokes in there. They've definitely got more jokey moments, and usually they really work well. Now, this film could have been their darkest movie to date. It felt like they tried to put in a lot of jokes after the fact to lighten this film up. Some worked great, some not so much. Some of the parts that I thought fell just so badly flat it was ridiculous was the cape that he's got, which has a life of its own, which was really cool, by the way. I thought that was a great addition and I quite enjoyed it a lot. But there's a scene in it after the Ancient One dies, so yeah, seriously, spoiler, come on. If you're watching this part and you don't yell at me for that, you shouldn't be watching this part anymore. The cape like wipes it, he puts it on and he puts, you know, like he pops the collar and he stands there, he looks at himself in the mirror all serious for a bit, and then the cape wipes some tears away and he's stop, and that sucked. That joke sucked. It was really cringeworthy and awkward, and it just went on for too long. It's like, really? You've got like no character development in the villains, and then you wasted like however much time on that stupid flat joke that did not need to be there. Oh, someone just died. Oh, we better make some people laugh, otherwise it'll get too serious. And one of the other ones that I thought was really, really weak was at the end of the movie, you've got Wong and, you know, they've just won and Doctor Strange says something, and I don't even know if it was a joke. I can't even remember what it was. It was not funny. Whatever he said, not funny. After he says it, Wong, who at this point has been one of the funnier characters because his total serious deadpan face every time Doctor Strange tries to be funny. And he gives him nothing. He gives him donuts the whole time. Doctor Strange says something not funny, and then Wong starts laughing, and it's just like, it's so forced. Oh, that's funny. But really? That's like, that's the finale? That? It's not funny. Just a couple of things I didn't like. Most of them though, most of the movie's amazing. There are 2 end credit scenes. Stick around, watch them both. The first one, spoilers, so who cares? The first one's awesome. The second one I did not like, actually. First one, you've got Thor and Doctor Strange interacting. So Thor, it's a bit of a setup for one of the other movies. Thor's looking for his dad. He's on Earth. Doctor Strange starts talking about Loki, and there's this funny scene with a beer, and it was really good. It was well done. I really loved the interaction between the two of them. Thor's his overly Thor voice, and so Earth has sorcerers now. All that weird, I'm not Thor. That was really funny. It was a short scene, but it was actually it was probably one of my favorite end credit scenes, to be honest. I thought it really hit the mark. The second scene, this one has Chiwetel Ejiofor's Baron Mordo. As you've watched the movie, you've seen that he's had not a fall from grace at all, but his strict, rigid beliefs, he just can't go along with the grey area that Stephen Strange lives in, where he will bend the rules. Mordo doesn't bend the rules at all. Strange does. Mordo's no longer happy with it. He believes that if you're going to mess with the natural order of things, like turning back time, even if it is to save the world, that there is a price to be paid for playing with that natural order. He comes to the conclusion that all sorcerers mess with the natural order, so the problem is that there's too many sorcerers. And then he goes to one of the characters we see earlier in the movie, the dude who's using magic on himself the whole time to stop his broken back from being broken. You can see him, he steals his magic back, so all of a sudden you can steal magic. That's interesting, but they didn't show that earlier, but hey, you can do it now in an end credit scene. So Mordo does that. He steals his magic off this guy. He makes this other dude a cripple, which, how harsh is that? Like, I'm not going to kill you, but now you're going to be a cripple for the rest of your life after learning how to not be a cripple again. That's rough. Like, that's like in Kill Bill 2 when she plucked out the chick's other eye. Like, that was worse than killing her. It's like, Jesus, really? That is rough. Re-cripples this dude, leaves him there. He's just like, yeah, have fun with that, mate. And then he walks off. And it's like, really? Like, you've just gone from being a good guy the whole movie, like a bit of a stick in the mud and very, very rigid, but you've gone from being on the good guy and one of Doctor Strange's teachers to suddenly like, hey, I'm just going to go and like steal all the other sorcerer's magic and I'm going to totally be the bad guy for the next movie. I thought they didn't need to do that. To give a different point of view, I would have much preferred it if Mordo was really unhappy with the state of affairs with what they'd done, but he saw the greater good in it. He saw that the ends justified the means, but that he was very, very unhappy with that ideology. And I would have liked to have seen his change over the course of the next movie. Him go from being still the good guy, then see the snap, see that progression in the next movie. That's how I would have liked it a lot more, instead of just seeing him go from good guy, good guy, good guy, good guy, post-credit scene, bad guy. Thought they really missed a great character arc and what could have been an amazing villain character arc in another movie. Doctor Strange, awesome movie, overall fantastic, another great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Do yourself a favor, treat yourself, go and see this movie. Go and see it while it's at the cinemas, get that vibe, see it in 3D. It's so worth it. You'll love it. So if you like these kinds of movies, you will love this movie. Yes, it's got its flaws, but overall, I still walked out having a great time. I do give this movie a very high rating. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I know I'm a huge big nerd when it comes to any comic book movies. I probably rate them better than they may deserve, but I do stand by this rating. I believe this deserves an 8 out of 10. If not higher, I may, who knows, I might go see this movie again and my rank could go up for it. My name is J-Man, this is Pop Culture Heroes, and we've been talking Doctor Strange.